Now with the latest out of Esparto, Live Copter 3 was over the scene where crews just carried out what they're calling a controlled explosive disposal. It happened about 20 minutes ago. The goal was to safely remove hazardous materials left at the scene. So here's a live look right now at where that explosion took place. You can see some lines of some fire activity there right now, and also what appears to be some burn scars and some things still popping there at this time as we take an exclusive live look from Live Copter 3.
And an LA law firm is now representing some of the victims' families. The attorneys say they are conducting their own investigation into the facility and the workplace environment before and after that blast.
We want to get straight to KCRA 3's Michelle Bandor live at the scene with the latest in Esparto. So Michelle, what are you learning right now?
Well, Andrea, the lawyers tell me that they are looking into filing a wrongful death lawsuit against the facility, as well as seeking death benefits for the families. And, you know, those families and relatives have been camped out here at the roadblock on County Road 86A for days, and they are hanging signs saying 7 days ignored, and they change the number of days each day to show that they have been here waiting for answers from authorities. And you can see, too, they've also set up a memorial here to their loved ones. You've got candles, flowers, and even some of the victims' favorite treats here. This is as close as they can get to where the victims died 6 days ago. Now, the families tell us they are frustrated as they wait for the coroner to identify their relatives' remains with the rapid DNA testing, but they also want to know how this explosion happened in the first place. The Esparto fire chief couldn't give any answers about the cause at the press conference today. We asked about the point of origin of the blast. He referred us to the state fire marshal's investigation. Now, the family's lawyer is concerned about a possible conflict of interest with the Esparto firefighter who has connections to the fireworks business, as well as the Yolo County Sheriff's deputy who owned the property and that his home was destroyed in that explosion.
You know, we'll be monitoring if there are criminal charges. I have not yet been privy to anything like that. Certainly, that would definitely add another texture to the case, but right now we're looking into a civil action, which would be negligence, maybe wrongful death.
Now back out here live on County Road 86A, you're looking at the father of two of the victims, and he just sits in that chair. He comes here every day. We did speak to him. We're going to hear from him in our later newscast, but he says he still is hoping that he'll see his sons walking down that road. Now, the lawyer, Samantha Ortiz, tells me she didn't go as far to say that the two agencies, the Esparto Fire Department and the Yolo County Sheriff's Department, should step away from the investigation, but she says they are doing their own investigation and looking into and keeping an eye on what's happening here at the blast site. Reporting live in Esparto, Michelle Bandor, KCRA 3 News.
Well, Michelle, you're still being kept back. We know that area is being classified as a crime scene, and we also know the addresses where the explosions happened did not have the necessary permits to store fireworks there. So what are you hearing about the potential of a criminal case?
Yeah, they didn't go into a lot of details about it being a crime scene today. In fact, it was a little bit more confusing when we asked about that. Again, they were referring everything to the state fire marshal's office, but I went ahead and reached out to the Yolo County District Attorney's office, who would only tell me that they're providing investigative resources and support, but wouldn't go into the details of what they are providing here, and didn't mention anything about possible criminal charges or who would face those charges. So just more questions that we have that we're trying to get answers to, Curtis.
Michelle Bandor live in Esparto. Thank you so much. And Yolo County officials are begging for patience as the investigation continues into what exactly happened.
KCRA 3 investigates. Lizzie Mitri is in our newsroom with the latest.
Curtis, the coroner says families can expect results from that rapid DNA testing within the next 48 hours after the remains of the 7 victims were recovered. This afternoon, CAL FIRE, the ATF National Response Team, and bomb squads conducted what they called controlled explosive disposal. Yolo County residents were warned about the potential for loud noises, smoke, and odors in that area. The Esparto fire chief says now this is slowly transitioning into more of a law enforcement-based incident. Although he did not give any specifics, like Michelle alluded to earlier, it's still unclear exactly where those explosions started and if it involved the commercial grade fireworks or possibly agriculture chemicals or products, because as KCRA3 investigates, first reported this property was only zoned by Yolo County for agriculture, not for fireworks storage, even though we also know the Esparto Fire Department knew this facility was here and had visited it.
Last week, I asked you about inspections at the facility. Have you had a chance to go back and look at your records and find out when the last inspection was here? Was there safety checks done? Did they pass those safety checks? And also, why was your department conducting those inspections when you do have a volunteer firefighter who has this business?
Again, that is part of the ongoing investigation, and I won't comment directly on all. I can't comment directly on all of that. I don't have all that information, but I can tell you, like I've said before, we were aware of the facilities, and I said we did site visits. I did not say we did inspections.
What does a site visit entail?
A site visit entails just basically coming on site and understanding what the operation looks like and understanding, that is there. Just having for pre-planning and understanding, what something may look like.
So again, there was an Esparto volunteer firefighter, Craig Cutright, who had connections to the 2 fireworks companies linked to that address. And records show a Yolo County Sheriff's Deputy, Sam Machado, owned the property. And those are the 2 agencies that led today's news conference. When we asked about a conflict of interest, the fire chief said there is none because the state fire marshal is the lead on this investigation. But again, the state fire marshal was not there and has not been available for questions.
So, Lizette, what is the status of that firefighter and that deputy?
The fire chief says the volunteer firefighter is currently on a leave of absence, and the Yolo County undersheriff actually would not say. He said that it was a personnel matter, so we don't know.
Which is surprising. We first reported last Wednesday that Sam Machado owned this property. In fact, we reported 2 of his family members were injured in it, but he's either on leave or he's not on leave. And, what are they doing to protect the integrity of this investigation, knowing somebody with their department has a direct tie to that property, and they're just saying, we're not going to tell you?
That's what we've gotten so far, but we'll continue to follow up.
Yeah, Lizette, we know you'll push for those answers. Thank you so much for the update in the newsroom. Other news, CAL FIRE last week called the site a crime scene. Now it's unclear what the status of the investigation is being called right now.
We're going to continue to bring you updates as we learn more about how this all happened. You can download the KCRA3 app to stay updated when we send out alerts.